Adam said like to come on the podcast.
This guy asked me a question.
I'm a Jays fan.
I never snitch, I plead the fifth, I know the karma.
And craziest part, there was a literal tornado. Yo, what's going on, guys? You're watching KTO right now. Let's do it. Let's talk about where I've been for the past month. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the interviews, but you probably didn't know where I was to get the interviews. So I thought I'd kind of narrate this vlog for you guys, where I pretty much took like a, I guess you could call it like an American like world tour low-key, because I went to LA, I went to Texas, I went to Atlanta, then I went to Memphis too. And I did all of this to get some interviews for you guys. If you don't already know, I don't live in America, I live in Canada, more specifically Vancouver. So not much of a music scene here. Artists aren't really touring here because of COVID. But yeah, for the most part, I do have to go to America to get these interviews for you guys. And it just came a point in time like a month ago where, you know, we were kind of running out of content to post. And at the same time, I was like, you know what? I really just want to start interviewing more artists that I genuinely care about. I'm trying to curate this in the most like me way possible. I think such a cool part about our brand is that, you know, I can do that and I don't have to like work for someone else and do the interviews that they want me to do. And one person was on my bucket list at the time, and his name is Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, if you're only a music fan, you're probably wondering like, who the hell is that? Rightfully so, because he's an NBA player. And yes, I know you guys probably haven't seen too much basketball on this channel aside from like maybe 1 or 2 interviews, but my heart lies in basketball. And Jaren is actually a huge fan of hip hop, but more so like this newer generation, the people that we cover. So I really wanted to do his interview, and I ended up pulling some strings. I got in touch with my friend who got in touch with his agent at CAA, and the agent from CAA hit me up saying, Jaren is actually a big fan of KTO and he wants to do an interview as well. Now that really shocked me, and I'm gonna make a whole video about that coming really soon, about my trip to Memphis, how I got an interview with an NBA player. But for this video, I won't say too much aside from the fact that that interview was gonna happen in Memphis and we locked it in for the 27th. Now, I knew that if I went to Memphis, I probably wouldn't do too many other interviews because, I mean, I already did Key Glock. If I'm in America, you know, I should go get like another 14, 15 interviews that will cover me for like half of the year, right? So I'm like, well, what better place to do it than to go to LA? LA is a place where not only a lot of rappers live, if you guys didn't know, but people are recording in LA. LA's weather is nice. Rappers are always in LA. So I get to the emailing and I'm hitting up everyone. And I don't know if I technically want to mention the names of these artists, but there was a lot of cool artists that I wanted to do that agreed to it, and I was hyped. I'm talking about people that you guys spam us to interview, who agreed to do the interview, who I want to do the interview with, and we were going to do the interview. And since there were so many fire interviews happening like back to back to back, I actually flew out my entire team. I was like, nah, I want you guys to be a part of this too. So we all got this Airbnb together.
This is definitely not the trap house, right? I mean, okay, well, I wouldn't say it's like a luxury house.
It's cool though. It's cool, bro.
Yeah, it's cool. And hey, there's a sink this time.
For like 3 weeks too, by the way, because when I would go for a week or a week and a half to LA, it's like things usually end up getting postponed within that time. And then when I'm back home in Canada, I get the text like, oh, we're down to do the interview now. Well, it's like, I can't do that because I'm back home. So I was like, if I stay 3 weeks, yes, it's definitely gonna cost me a lot more money. At least I'll get everything done that way. So I get to LA, I got my team with me, and boom, it starts off as strong as ever because I got an Adam 22 interview. And I know there's like some mixed reactions from like the newer generation with Adam, but like you guys gotta realize this is someone who literally laid the blueprint down for people like me to, you know, do something in hip hop media. And yeah, we really interviewed him. We get to the No Jumper offices. It's in like a place you wouldn't even expect. I got to meet Adam, we did our interview, and overall it just felt like someone who I looked up to is seeing me on like the same level finally, right? And it's because of all the work I put in. So also that day I did an interview, like I was getting interviewed by HelloYassine. I'm sure you guys have seen his YouTube channel, does numbers.
Yo, what's going on, bro? Nice to meet you. This is my guy, JR right here.
What's up, man? Now, what age were you and what were you doing when you saw the potential into, hey, this KTO thing can actually turn into a business?
So I don't know when that's gonna come out. But yeah, that sounds like a really successful first day, right? It can't get better than that. And that's because it didn't. I feel like the trip started off so crazy, but all the huge people that we had lined up just didn't really fall through, you know, or they stopped responding.
The usual, bro. Happens all the time.
If we rescheduled, it would still be here, right?
Yeah.
But you know, during that time when the really big artists canceled on us, we still managed to get some pretty cool interviews. I did stuff with Frvrfriday, YvngxChris.
Yo, I mean, I've been seeing y'all shit. Like, I was actually in one of the videos on the low.
What?
Like,
In my
a minute
videos?
ago, yeah. But like, I was like hella little kid at the time.
No way.
Like the Rolling Loud one.
DctheDon.
Frosty, just like as a person, like music shit aside, that motherfucker was like, he's just a one-on-one.
And then after that, just again waiting like long periods of times, nothing going on. And to make it worse, oh my god, I had to scrap that entire DctheDon interview. Yeah, sorry to anyone who's a fan who was expecting that to come out. We did the interview and pretty much he was wearing a chain, right? And it's not like the mic was like on the chain or whatever. It was like pretty far away from it. I don't know what happened. If someone's in the comments and you can explain this to me, please do. But I guess like when there's a chain next to the mic, there's something to do with like the static, but all you hear after the first 10 minutes is just like buzzing. And yeah, that sucks. That sucks. It was a really good interview. It was his first time talking about, you know, Sad Frosty. It's really emotional. Because of that, I had to buy like a whole nother mic, because from now on in every interview I double mic the artist. It is a little excessive and I don't know if they really like that, but I'm gonna just do it because it's gonna help in the long run. I also did this interview shortly after with I don't know if I should put names on this, but wow, that interview went horrible. Probably the worst interview I've done. Not the worst interview I did, but like the worst interview I had to endure. Yeah, that was bad. But I probably won't speak on that specifically here. I'm gonna probably stream tomorrow and I'm gonna tell you guys all these like behind the scenes stories. So just come join the stream and I'll probably talk about this if you ask me. But I low-key just wanted to like fly home to Vancouver right after that one. I was like, I felt so down. I was like, damn, that's what it's like. Like, is this what it's gonna be like if I stay in this industry? But then I'm like, stop being an idiot. Like, I'm not here trying to get 4 videos. I'm trying to get like 15, you know? So I kind of just toughened it up and I ended up doing some more with Lonewolf. That one's gonna be fire. Yung Kayo, you guys are begging me to put that one out and I will very soon. Smiley, which you guys already know, that one's out already. Beam, been wanting to interview him for a minute. Flatbush Zombies. Well, it was Juice from Flatbush Zombies, but still Flatbush Zombies. And what's that in total? Like 8? I guess like -1 since DctheDon didn't happen. Maybe minus another because the bad one, I don't know if I'm gonna put that one out. But like, what could I do? You know, those other 10 artists just completely canceled on me, postponed. And I mean, you guys have heard this a million times on our channel before. That type of stuff happens. I'm not surprised. Sucks because it is really expensive to stay there in LA. And when you're not getting your work done, it's like, well, I'm just here spending money and more money and more money for the purpose of nothing. But yeah, I'm making it sound really negative, but there are a few positives too. Like, I mean, for one, we got our next clothing drop manufactured in LA. These hoodies feel so much better and look better. Like, this blank is way different than the one we went with to start off, but we gave a hoodie to each of the artists we interviewed. I'm sure they'll wear it, take a picture, post it. That's what happened with the Next Wave tee with SsgKobe, with SoFago. And speaking of Kobe, he even invited me to the studio to hear his whole next project.
Baby, shut the fuck up, coming from me with the remote. She be saying past situations I could cry to. I've been trying to get this girl to walk, but then I lied to her. Yeah. But the streets look like every day. Yeah. If you got bad vibrations, you can come there. Thank you for the love. Thank you for my mom. Thank you for my drive. Feel like you pull up in a target. Shorty sweet, I'm like Willy Wonka. I'm so give me right here, you leaving me lost. I cannot cut the bed, she is a tie. She would not come say a week for the vibe. All of her friends when they eat me up. Honestly, you is my biggest regret.
Best one is this, the one right before this, and then the R&B one.
Same with KashDami. I linked up with him at the studio.
He said it's gonna be a little crowded in there, so let's see how it is. He also said crowded with a K, not a C, so maybe I get initiated today, you never know.
Iayze, go for man.
Yeah, it's yours by the way, unreleased.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh shit. This joint icy as fuck. He got the drip on, y'all see my man? But if it was like a darker brown, it would completely fit.
Yeah, true.
Just to match the hoodie. Cause I didn't have this last time. This is also new.
Oh, you just got that?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Very new.
You versus me, boy, you never gon' win. Better stay out the beat, boy, you not tryna get in there. Better stay out the streets, nigga. Better stay out the streets before someone get hurt. Nigga, we really got stand, we put in that work. Right, do you see the red flag? Yeah. My slime, my slime. We got the Dracos, the gas in the pack. Let know if you see me go to the back.
Me and Luxury Tax also linked up at his crib and then hung out. That guy's super cool, and we usually just always do that in LA.
Yeah, on that side, they playing ball. I was sliding.
No way, you had this on? You're the only one who has a red hoodie, right?
I was sliding with this on. They was about to make a left turn, they saw me. Yeah, turned around and chasing me. Just had to get on some little,
Got chased in the KTO hoodie, bruh.
And I had the 30 on me, so I was like,
I never snitch, I plead the fifth, I know the karma. Couple bad bitch mean at the mansion, make it thunder. All these bitches love us, we get money in abundance. Look, I be in the cut playing it cool, making them run it. And they got my ties, fuck the fame and the other shit, long as I got mine. 200 for a watch, I'm just trying to keep up with time. Think it's slick, but you rebuttaling in your life.
As well as my guy G-Rai, who we've interviewed already. And you already know he produces a lot for like Partynextdoor, Drake, so he's coming out with a compilation album of his own. And I mean, I can't say who I heard on it technically, but like you can kind of connect the dots. And this shit I heard was like crazy good, man. I also linked up with Bainz, who was showing me like early versions of Gunna songs.
She wanna go viral.
But the most positive moment of them all, I can't lie, it's when I texted Adam, right? I was like, yo, I'm leaving LA tomorrow and I'm gonna give you a hoodie, right? Can I stop by the No Jumper offices? Maybe I can give it to you. And he was like, yeah, sure, I'm doing a live podcast. Maybe you can just come watch the end of the show and then give it to me there. And I was like, oh, of course not. Like, I've always wanted to watch a live No Jumper show. So yeah, I get there and
We're not drunk, but they're drunk. Whoa! Kids take over in the building. What the fuck?
you know, it's cool. Like I'm watching them talk about what they talk about, you know, it's hilarious. And then out of nowhere, Adam tells his team to set up a fourth mic, right? And then I realized, I'm like, oh shoot, Adam said like to come on the podcast towards the end. And that's exactly what happened. They brought me on.
What's up, bro?
I'd like to introduce our guest. My Kids Takeover interview just dropped. I figured we needed him to at least drop in so we could have a conversation about.
I had the hoodie I wanted to give Adam in the lap, and I was wearing the same one. So I was just reading the live chat the other day, and damn, people were getting so mean, man. They're like, oh, why is this idiot wearing a Snuggie? How Ariana Grande wears a hoodie? I saw a lot of like Taliban comments, which like, you know, at this point, I don't really care. It's just like, damn, bro, people are racist. But wow, that was fun as hell, man. Like they started interviewing me for an hour. I thought it was just like they wanted me to talk about what the things that they want to talk about, but they were interviewing me for an hour. I got to be live in front of like 15,000 people. The video they ended up posting, it got like over 200,000 views, I think. But you probably saw the funny part. I just asked the guys about Skeet versus Kanye. I was like, whose side are you on? Are you guys team Kanye or team Skeet?
Skeet.
And they ended up getting in a huge debate. It was like a race debate. Yeah.
This guy asked me a question,
Face
and your
paint is
dumb ass
gothic
went
now.
and spoke out of turn.
No, spoke out of turn. I'm
Shut
pretty sure
the
this is a
fuck up when you
podcast.
asking me a question.
This is
I don't think racism.
I see that shit all the time.
He's just talking out of his ass. I'm making a
No,
very
he
good
asked
point.
me a fucking question.
I was just like, damn, what the hell did I cause? But yeah, nonetheless, really fun. I could tell they all really respect me. If you were in my shoes, you guys would be really happy. But I mean, yeah, that was the end of my LA trip. I think it was the 18th of March, and I was like, okay, let me just go back home to Vancouver, and then I'll just fly back for, you know, the Jaren interview in Memphis. But then I'm like, you know, why go back to Canada? I still only have like, what, 8 videos. I'm just not happy with that. And you know, like what's holding me back here? It really is the money, right? Because I'm like, I could stay in America for longer, but it's just gonna cost me more and more money. And who knows if I'm actually even gonna confirm any other interviews. But I was like, you know what is it? Like $1,000, $2,000 more dollars? I'm gonna make this money back this year. I promise you, I will make that money back this year. I know YouTube ad revenue sucks, but we have some other things in the works and how we're actually gonna monetize, and I'm gonna make this money back, you know? I'm gonna spend the extra $2,000 as an investment for KTO, and I'm gonna go to Texas. Yes, Texas. I've never ever been there before. but I do know that at that time, South by Southwest was going on, a huge like music festival / conference in Austin, Texas. I didn't really give a shit to see the performances, but I'm like, well, there's gonna be the South by artists performing there, and then there's just artists who live in Texas in general. I just booked the flight and I did it. I linked up with some amazing dudes who helped me film. Their Instagram is Houstonology, and then my homie Keaton Jones. I'm sure you guys have seen some of his music videos, but he shot stuff for like Big Baby Gucci. They helped me film a Clappers interview, which you guys can see on the channel. It almost has 100,000 views. A Heaven interview, you know, like HVN. I know he's not like huge, but him doing an interview is pretty rare. And I think he's like the next one out of Texas. Fire interview. That shit looked like a noisy documentary the way we shot it. Amazing stories. Can't wait for that. We interviewed Rich Amiri, who I'm sure you guys have seen us post about. I think he's gonna be really big. And the one interview I really wanted to do was Jace. And his team actually hit me up coincidentally around that time. I posted I was in Texas, and we got the Jace interview done. And the dudes from Houstonology, Sook, Joe, Adrian, like they're so nice that they drove us all the way to Houston to Jace's house to do the interview. Yo, the dude was one of the coolest people that we've interviewed. Took real good care of us. I think it took us like an hour to set up. He didn't give a shit. Like he really wanted to do it. I'm also really scared of dogs, long story, but his dog was really dope. It was like the size of like my hand pretty much. After seeing Jace's dog, I was like, wow, maybe dogs are kind of cool. But damn, I was like feeling so happy, man. It's just like, I felt like going to Texas was just better than the entire LA trip. And you know, I just felt this momentum and this rush where I was like, I want to keep this going. Like I'm trying to go somewhere else now. It was like the 24th, I believe. Jaren interview was in Memphis on the 27th. And I'm like, all right, well, since I'm in the South, like where else can I go? I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to Atlanta. So I booked that ticket, and it was the night before. And craziest part, there was a literal tornado 10 minutes away from my Airbnb in Austin. You know, where I'm from over here, that doesn't really happen. We don't get floods, tornadoes, earthquakes, none of that stuff. I look up a live video. This tornado is like destroyed a Walmart, destroying tons of houses. And this is all 10 minutes away from me. But thankfully I made it to the airport, and I got on my flight to Atlanta. And for over there, I didn't really have any like crazy stuff planned like Young Thug, Gunna, but it's all good because using my connections, I still made a lot of cool stuff happen, okay? I did a Thouxanbanfauni interview, and yes, he was sober, which made the interview easier. I did a Turbo interview. Yes, like Turbo, the producer for Gunna and Young Thug. I was kind of shocked because I'm like, damn, like he's a really, really big producer. But then I'm like, I also got Pierre Bourne, so like I shouldn't be shocked. A lot of gems in that interview. But the third one I feel was the coolest. Even though technically he isn't working with the craziest big people right now like Turbo is, he's so legendary, and that was Mexikodro. If you don't know who that is, you probably will just be like, okay, whatever. If you do know who that is, you're gonna be like, yo, how the fuck did you get a Mexikodro interview? He just doesn't do press like that, and he doesn't like people like that, I guess, you know. But the fact that he wanted to do it with me, I think that spoke volumes to like our brand. So yeah, fire interview. I know I posted that when we shot it, and I wish you guys could see like the uncropped version of that picture. I'm not even gonna say it, but honestly, with you know that all being done, I did learn a really valuable lesson, and it's something that Adam actually told me in the interview I did with him. Even though I ended up getting all this cool stuff, I can't be relying on guests for my business to run. Yes, I'm really good at curating the cool guests, and you know, you guys come to our channel to see what's cool, but I kind of am just slowly relying on another person too much, you know. But even myself, you know, like I don't want it to be where I have to be in all the videos, because KTO operates in so many different things, and it's going to operate in even more things as we expand. That, you know, what if I'm not available to do an interview one day? Like that can't be the only content, right? Stuff with me in it. So it got me thinking, I'm like, there should be something like a KTO podcast, you know? Maybe I'm not even in it. Maybe it's one of you guys who are watching right now that is just great at talking and entertaining. So let me know in the comments if that's even something you'd want to see, you know? But yeah, great trip and all in the end. Atlanta and Texas were way better than LA. But so now at this point, the vlog does end with me finishing the trip in Atlanta. And the next day I gotta go to Memphis to do the Jaren Jackson Jr. interview. But I was trying to save money, so I did a road trip overnight to Memphis. Let's just say that was a lot crazier than a tornado. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the Jaren Jackson Jr. interview in a couple days. Then a couple days after, I'm gonna give you guys an entire Memphis vlog. And yeah, this is all just one big story, and I'm giving it to you guys in pieces. And yeah, this is Arshan, and you guys are watching KTO. Yo guys, thanks for watching that vlog right there. If you don't know, I'm gonna be streaming the day after you're seeing this. So on Monday, I'm going to be streaming and telling you like all the real behind the scenes stories. Like not real, but there's just so much more. Like there's so much stuff that you don't even see in this vlog. So much crazy stuff. So I'm gonna be going on stream, answering all your questions. Anything you guys want to ask me, I'll answer transparently. And yeah, just be there. If you want to know the time of it, it should be on our IG story. And yeah, go leave a like and comment on this video. Subscribe. The button should be here.